Childhood, a time of innocence, a time of creativity. And one of the most memorable parts of childhood was the games we played. I don't even know who created these games, but they were amazing. Dodgeball. Dodgeball at my elementary was just an all-out war zone. We weren't using those soft balls. We'd use the real ones, as well as using basketballs sometimes. Also, we had drop kicking where you drop kick the ball and if it hit somebody, it would also count. We would even drop kick the basketballs. It was insane. Let's just say there was lots of trips to the nurses that it eventually ended up getting banned. Recess football had you feeling like prime Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know about you guys, but young Penguin King was a baller. I'd be putting up prime Megatron numbers. But what was even more popular at my school was soccer. We would play it all the time. We ended up getting slide tackles banned because too many people were getting hurt. Also, our goals didn't even have nets. However, there was a fence close behind. But sometimes I would hit it in the goal and then it would go over the fence to the kids on the playground. I might have hit kids a few times, but whatever. Angry Birds. This was the best mobile game ever. The original one wasn't even the best, however. There was a Star Wars one which had the most fire music, and it was overall just a fun game. The Angry Birds racing game, this was actually so peak. I actually wouldn't hop off this game. I would love racing all the tracks. Angry Birds Transformers. Now this one was like a survival one. You'd be able to switch between being in a car and running. I don't know what it was about this game, but it was so entertaining, fighting all the pigs, running, and driving. These games were perfect for being inside on a rainy day. But what was also great on a rainy day were board games. You know, all the classics Candyland, Monopoly, Jenga, and even sometimes the game of life could be fun. There were card games like Uno, which would come in clutch during school. Sometimes it would feel so good when we had free time and was able to play Uno with the boys. Also, whenever I was with my friends at the playground or at my house, somebody would say, "The floor is lava," and we would act like it was a big crisis happening. It was like if we touched the ground, we would die, no going back. We would do anything to traverse around the house without touching the ground. I remember when I had a babysitter after I showered, I was able to play Minion Rush on her phone. So you already know I was taking the quickest showers known to man to play some Minion Rush, which was such a fun game. I remember running around as the minions and turning into the purple one and all the boss fights like the El Macho one. Another game I would play on her phone was Temple Run, where you would run away from this beast. It was kind of the same setup as Minion Rush, but Temple Run was good, just not as good as Minion Rush. During PE, the teacher would just come up with the most weird games imaginable. We'd be playing noodle tag and stuff like that, all while the corniest music was playing. But not gonna lie, I kinda liked it. The music sometimes, I thought I was in an edit or something. Also during PE when the scooters came out, everybody was hyped, but as a jit, I would often hurt my hand somehow, I don't even know. Another peak recess game was Cops and Robbers. You guys know what I'm talking about. You split between two teams, the cops and the robbers. And the cops would try to tag the robbers, and then they would go to the designated jail area. And the robbers could be freed from their teammates. But there was always that one annoying kid who would camp in front of the jail thinking he was tough. The Cheese Touch. Now, as a kid, I loved reading the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. I still even read them now sometimes for the nostalgia. But in the first book, it had the Cheese Touch, which we would play. Somebody random would just be like, "I have the Cheese Touch," or somebody else would be like, "They have the Cheese Touch," and um, and everybody would avoid them at all costs. And you already know I would have my fingers crossed all the time. And when you least expect it, that's when you end up getting tagged and having the cheese touch. It had you feeling like you just got a life threatening disease. Joe Noodle would save recess when we couldn't come outside. They were so fun, especially the popsicle one and the blue Maximo guy, and the one with the moose. They were all so good. Just Dance was also so fun to do during indoor recess. Also, all the Kids Bop dance along videos, amazing. Especially the Dynamite one was so fun.